When Natalie declared that the child in her womb was not Bryce's, he was shattered. He walked into his office the next day with a scowl on his face and the memory of his last conversation with Natalie playing in his mind. I am going to leave you, Bryce.
Sit down.
Didn't you hear me? This child is not yours.
I said sit down.
Bryce, please listen to me. I have cheated on you. There is somebody else in my life. You have to let me go.
Sit the hell down, Natalie.
Natalie was taken aback by the vitriol in Bryce's voice. She sank back into the sofa, stunned.
You listen to me now. I don't know what you're doing with Clamp and these other men you claim to have been with. All I know is that there is a small chance that the baby is mine because you and I were together too.
Bryce,
So, here is what is going to happen. You stay here until the baby is born and we do a DNA test.
Bryce, I don't need... Bryce came close to Natalie and lifted his hand as if to slap her. Natalie winced, but opened her eyes when she felt his warm hand caressing her cheek.
Don't get me wrong. I have no love for you. But if that child is a Claire, he belongs with me. I would have done this for any woman who carried my child.
Sitting in his office, Bryce held his head in his hands as Natalie's tear-streaked face appeared before his eyes. He couldn't believe that a face so beautiful could have a heart so dark.
Mr. Claire, this came for you. It was marked for your eyes only, so I brought it to you. I have already had it x-rayed, so it is safe to open.
Bryce rolled his eyes at Jane's overprotectiveness as he opened the package. A medical report and a photograph fell out along with a note. His eyes darkened when he read it.
Jane, who sent this?
It was left outside our office, sir. What is it, Mr. Claire?
It's nothing. Jane, go and find out who dropped this off. And cancel all my meetings today.
Bryce held the paternity test tightly in his hands, his knuckles white. Age of the child, 4 years. Probability of paternity, 100%. The photograph was a grainy picture of him lying on top of a slender woman. Bryce remembered that night. 5 years ago, he had been drugged and led to an unknown woman's room. He had tried to find the woman, but had been unsuccessful. In the picture, Bryce could not make out the woman's face. The only clear thing had been this serpentine bracelet on the woman's wrist as she wrapped her arm around Bryce's neck.
That bracelet does look familiar. Where have I seen it before?
Bryce opens the note and reads it.
You have a son. Unless you want the whole world to find out, get $100 million ready. They must be stupid, trying to blackmail me. But could it be true? I don't recall much from that night. Do I have a son?
Bryce grappled with his emotions as images of Liam flooded his mind. He had always felt a fatherly bond with Liam, even though he had no connection. Bryce had hoped that the birth of the new baby would make his family with Natalie and Liam complete. But Natalie had cheated him out of it. Bryce felt a rage come to him, but when he read the age of the child, he felt calmer.
Same age as Liam. But if I do have a son, that boy is my real family.
Bryce put the envelope in his jacket and walked out of the office.
Jane, I'm leaving now. I might be back in the evening and will stay till night.
Sure, Mr. Claire.
Jane was surprised to hear that Bryce would be back in the evening. Ever since Natalie had come into Bryce's life, he had always gone home by 6 p.m. She wondered if the couple was fighting, but knew better than to ask. Natalie was sitting in her room, cradling her stomach. She felt a soft kick and smiled, despite the turmoil in her mind. She walked up to the door and peeked outside. I have a craving for cheesecake. I'm going to go to the supermarket and get it. The burly bodyguard outside gave her a courteous look, but shook his head.
I will have the cheesecake brought up to you, Mrs. Claire. Please, stay in and rest.
This security is getting unbearable.
Natalie, wake up.
Oh, when did I doze off?
So, do you have an answer? Whose child are you carrying?
Bryce, please.
Anyway, I got this for you.
Bryce placed a small cream-colored box with Little Mama's Cheesecake Factory etched on it on the bed next to Natalie. Oh my God, how did you know I was craving this cheesecake?
You may not have loved me, but I loved you. And I'm only doing this for the baby. If the mother is happy, the baby is happy.
Natalie's joy died instantly. She averted her gaze. When she did not make a move to touch the cake, Bryce stood up. He drew closer to her and kneeled before her.
Natalie, this child is not mine, I promise. I will never even look at your face again. You and Liam can go.
Then just trust me when I say this baby isn't yours.
But if this child is mine, he will grow up as the Claire family heir. If this child or any child of mine exists, I have to take responsibility. You understand that, don't you?
Natalie blinked in confusion at Bryce's words. But before she could ask him, he stood up and walked into the washroom. Natalie moved towards the cake when her eyes fell upon his jacket and the envelope that had fallen out of it. Glancing back at the washroom door, she fished out the envelope and opened it. Oh my God, Bryce! What have you done? What will this paternity report do to Natalie and Bryce's failing relationship? Will Natalie leave Bryce, or will Bryce find out that he is the real father of Liam? And who is the mastermind behind the blackmail? Only those with the Pocket FM app will know. Oh my God, Bryce!
What? What did I do now?
Nothing. I was just thinking about all of us. Did you ever listen to our story on the Pocket FM app?
What? You're listening to The Return on Pocket FM app? Natalie, please be careful. I really don't want Liam to know the truth about what is going to happen next.
Don't worry, Bryce. What about the people who watch us on YouTube?
They will only get to know about our story if they install the Pocket FM app.
Why keep waiting? All episodes of The Return are available only on the Pocket FM app. Click on the link in the description to install now.